What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Listen, I am Demorrious. Typically, I would have on the hat, the shirt, some type of paraphernalia to let you know who I am. But today I got on a shirt, man, that talks about a lot of stuff, right? One of them says dream like Martin. It says lead like Harriet, inspire like Marcus, all kind of stuff, right? And that's what we do on this podcast. Before it was called the I Am Demorrious podcast, where we look to inspire, encourage, and enlighten you with the use of practical words, ideals, and stories. But because my wife joined my podcast the other day and just like blew up the spot, it's not called the I Am Demorrious podcast anymore. It's called the Movement Podcast. Because I'm a movement all by myself. But when me and my wife get together, we are force. So be on the lookout for the Force podcast. It's coming. We already got the domain, all that kind of stuff. It's coming. But nevertheless, man, you in for a treat. I'm in the presence. Every time I say that, he starts laughing. But I believe in giving flowers, and I believe in respect. And I'm in the presence of who I consider to be not only radio royalty, but just genuine royalty, period. A really, really genuine person, an amazing person who from the first time I heard his voice, I heard it on the radio, I heard Hannah's baby boy, right? And then a little while later I realized and I found out that Hannah's baby boy had the last name that I have, and we was connected some kind of way. So then, you know, my what you call it, the celebrity crush, my stardom, my fandom, all that stuff's dropped. But this is my guy Stu, man. Stu's in the building. If I had like a sound effect, I'd be like,
nah. We're here, man. Glad to be here, my brother.
Cool. Listen, man, I'm honored, and I say that for real, man. And I know we talked a little bit earlier. We talked about, you know, what you're infamous for. We talked about, you know, in our production part about, you know, your voice. Like, when did you realize? Well, let's go back. Introduce yourself to these people who don't know you.
All right. Hannah's baby boy, Stu Robinson, born and raised in Sunset Park, of course, Rock Hill. Went to Winston-Salem State University.
The Rams.
Yeah, the mighty Rams. Greatest HBCU ever.
Okay.
It's pretty much my story, man.
All right. So you heard his voice. His voice sounds better than mine.
Nah.
When did you realize, so my gift was basketball.
Gotcha. But go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I said you say.
Yeah, my gift was, I was like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, my kids didn't believe me, but now, like, my friends' kids are the same age as my kids now, and when they go to their parents' house, they're like, yeah, man, your dad was really like that. I was like that.
Okay.
he said, so you said. Hey, but listen, so that was my gift. My gift was basketball, and I knew it was a gift to the point where, like, I would get in trouble sometimes late at night. We figured out how to, like, wire up the lights on the outside court at Boyd Hill. You know, mama would come up there in a house coat, like, if you don't get home before I get there, like that. So, because I love basketball. When did you realize that your gift wasn't, like, that tangible gift that people celebrate, but it was something else?
I would call it the gift of gab. As a kid, I went to St. Anne's before I went over to Sullivan, being out in the field and just yelling and having the loudest voice. And when I went off to junior high, and you know, it's middle school now, I went to Sullivan. In the 9th grade, Miss Howell, one of my favorite teachers, said, Stu, that you have this voice that commands attention. Use it wisely. Because I was a class clown. I was always cutting up, being funny, and, you know, being that person. Not intentionally. But it's just that my voice just kind of not echoed, but it was just over everybody. And I was a little guy. And it's like, man, you know, who's this little guy with this big voice?
Yeah.
So that was in the 9th grade, and fell in love back in the day. His name was Skip Murphy, Power 98 Radio. Only thing I ever wanted to say growing up in radio was giving you a better song-to-song variety with Skip Murphy in the morning. Power 98. That's all I ever wanted to say. And I knew then, it was like 9th or 10th grade, that I wanted to be in radio. Nothing was going to stop me. I was a hooper, like you were, and a soccer player. I had an opportunity to go to Coker to play basketball. Lander to play soccer.
Okay.
But I decided to go to Winston-Salem State because they had a mass comm.
Okay.
And I was supposed to go there to play football, but I fell in love with radio, started doing a student radio station there, and boom, that was it.
So usually our gift has a story behind it, right? Like for me, in my office, I have the Mamba mentality on my wall, and you know, it says like it's the desire to be the highest version of oneself, right? Mm-hmm. And so I remember my 7th grade year. Like I think every major hooper has that cut story, right? I got cut 7th grade, and I went home and I told my mom, I was like, yo, I ain't getting cut no more, right? Like I'm gonna do everything that. I went back to the coach. I was like, all right, why didn't I make it?
Yeah.
Right? Like I was that kid. Like, why didn't I make it? And he was like, well, you need to kind of work on your handles, et cetera, et cetera. So I became obsessed with it. And then from 8th grade throughout high school, like I played, right? I started. So that was my struggle. So having this very distinct voice, was it always like accepted, like applauded, or was it like, man, you sound old? Like what was that?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, at college radio station, 95 point, you know what it was ran by students.
Okay.
And the main radio station in Greensboro was 102 Jams. And a couple of guys that were ahead of me, class-wise, they were able to go there and get a part-time gig. Okay. I'm like, I'm just as good as them, you know. Let me go try. So I went up there and they say, nah, you're not ready. I went to another station. It was Power 97 then in Greensboro. Same thing, nah. And like you said, I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
What do I need to do? It's like, you're not being yourself. I said, what do you mean I'm not being yourself? And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm next Skip Murphy. I'm the next Skip Murphy, not the first Stu Robinson. Well, it's called Stu R then. You know me. I was, hey, Stu R, you know me. He's like, that's not your voice.
Okay.
I was like, what do you mean? This is my voice. This is my radio voice. It's like, that is the problem. We don't want radio guy. We want somebody with personality. Okay. So that's what I had to figure out. And it was at that moment, I was like, I'm not going to be the next Skip Murphy. Okay. I wanted to be the first Hannah's baby boy Stu. And boom, that's how that came about.
You said something. You said, you know, I was listening, and you was like, I wanted to be the next Skip Murphy. Yeah. Right? How many people do you think are out here living below their blessed place because they're trying to be somebody else?
A lot. Quite a few.
What would you tell them?
Be yourself.
That simple.
Be yourself. Don't be envious of the next person or what they have, because that's may not be meant for you. Okay. You know, blessings come in so many different ways. Like you said, you were a hooper. Yeah. I was a hooper. Yeah. I realized I wasn't going to go to the NBA. Right. I realized I wasn't going to go overseas. So let me use my God-given talent, which is my voice. Yeah. I'm going to find a way to use this voice, whether it's speaking engagement, whether it's radio, whether it's doing something. Yeah. I'm going to get paid using my voice.
Yeah. I remember the first time, and I know I keep saying that, but I remember the first time I heard, you know, I guess they call them the radio jingles or whatever, you know, Hannah's baby boy Stu, and I heard this powerful voice, man. It was literally like, and this is no, you know, like celebrity freak out moment, but it was like something came over me like, yo, like there's power like in that voice, right? Like that is something that's different. How has your voice changed your life?
Tremendously. Like I said, it's my gift, which I was fortunate to have, thank God, because like I told you earlier, I got a face for radio, so it definitely wasn't going to be a TV thing. But outside of radio, a lot of people don't get see it, but not only just being in radio, we have a lot of speaking engagements. Okay. Whether it's going to school, doing the career day, whether it's going to speak to, I've been to juvenile prisons, and I spoke to them. Especially, I love the, you know, thing about me, Stu love kids and senior citizens. Okay. It's you adults I can't stand. I can't stand y'all. But you know, using my voice in that way. Yeah. That type of mentality. And that's what really I enjoyed most, because when I was in Tampa, I did this thing called Stu's Father-Daughter Dance. Okay. Which was an amazing event. That's my most cherished thing that I ever done in radio. Okay. And at the time, I didn't know until I have dads coming back to me years later and telling me stories about the impact that it had a relationship between that father and daughter.
Yeah.
Because watching my dad relationship with my sister, I was like, that's the relationship that I want to have for my daughter.
Okay.
So it was one of those things, man. Like my voice being at radio allowed me to put on an event like that.
Okay.
And I did Stu's Toy Box for Kids, where we did charity basketball games. We collected toys for kids in need. So many different things, so many different aspects.
So I heard you say Tampa.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Was it somewhere in Florida? I mean, not Florida. Texas?
Greensboro.
Like, where has your voice taken you to?
Radio-wise, just city to city. It's Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Macon, Georgia, Augusta, Charlotte, back to Tampa, back to Charlotte. But with the technology of radio, it's called voice tracking, or pretty much syndicated.
Yeah.
I've done radio stations in Houston, Columbia, a couple other radio stations, because it's like, you just sit in the studio and you just record it, and whichever station want to pick up, they use it. So
wow, that's crazy, man. So listen, I remember hearing Stu, Hannah's baby boy Stu, radio killing the airways. You and a couple of my other friends that do radio, but then like your voice almost went silent.
Yeah. COVID.
Okay.
That was a situation starting. When was COVID? Like 2020, whenever it was.
What the old folks say, don't start me the line.
Yeah. You got the call like, hey, we don't want anybody in the building for, X amount of weeks. And, and hey, we're going to do this and that and so forth and so forth. Once this situation dies over, then we're going to come back full staff. And that never happened.
Okay.
So, yeah, and with the state of radio now, it's not the same as it was when I first fell in love with the business or with anything. I mean,
right.
A lot of corporations, they're downsizing.
Okay. Yeah.
You can have one person in Charlotte that can be heard on 20 other cities, and you never know that person is not there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So your gift was your voice. COVID happened, and you wasn't able to use your voice as you had been accustomed to. Mm-hmm. What was that like mentally?
It was tough. I mean, it was really like my first time since, I went to college with 18 doing college radio. I never stopped from 19, long time ago. From literally like 1990 to 2020.
Okay.
It was always radio, doing this, doing that. So I was like, all right, it's just a small break. Okay, small break became a longer break.
Okay.
Longer break was like, hello, what's next? And I got a couple calls, I'm going to be honest, to go to smaller markets.
Okay.
And it wasn't an ego thing to me. It's like, hey, I'm getting older. I can't go to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And work for X amount of dollars.
Right.
I just can't do that. I'm too old to have a roommate.
Right.
Or, or living in a tent.
Yeah.
So, it was situations like that. So it's just like, nah, it's like, yeah,
So let's keep going. So, because I want to dig a little bit deeper, because I know for me, a couple years ago, I was playing a charity basketball game, fractured my tibial plateau, bone graft, 8 screws across the top of my knee, 4 screws going down the rod that's in my leg. Wow. Had to learn how to walk again, live in a hospital bed downstairs. All of these things happened in a wheelchair. Couldn't go from the carpet to the vinyl and turn the wheelchair around and have enough strength to go back over it. And I was out of work, right?
Yeah.
And so being raised to be a provider, a protector, a husband and all those things, like mentally, bro, it went to a dark place.
Yeah.
Like it got me literally to the point where me and my wife had a big argument. She was like, I can't take it no more. If you're gonna act like that, I'm gone. So she left out that day to go just kind of clear her head. And I remember sitting there with Percocets.
Wow.
And I looked at them, and I took the top off, and I put all the Percocets in my hand. And I sat there, and I said, I'm less than now. I can't take care of anybody. Mm-hmm. And I contemplated taking all those Percocets, and I said, based on where they're going, I can take these, and I can be gone before anybody can be here to intervene.
Wow.
That's how crazy mental it was. Like being in a place of feeling like I couldn't provide. So I know the calls came for smaller markets and all that stuff, but like being who you were, because like you had reached the level and you're still at that level where like folk know who Stu is.
Humbling experience. Very humbling. Because again, from 18 years old till 2020, however I was, I can't do the math. That's the only thing I ever done. Okay. I've never done anything outside of radio. So it's like, what's next? I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Bills gotta be paid.
Yeah.
You know, then I was like, yeah, I can find a job. Then you go looking at, regular jobs, per se.
Yeah.
You gotta have experience for everything, or, this or that, or this degree. And I didn't. But I'm gonna work.
Yeah.
And that's something I would say my mom and dad instilled in me at a very early age. Work.
Yeah.
Work. You know, it may not be something that you want to do, but learn.
Yeah.
So started working for a lawn company and learned a lot.
Okay.
And actually I loved it.
Okay.
It was, except them hot sunny days. But I did that for a few years.
And fire ant mounds and stuff.
Yeah. And I really advanced in that company and became one of the top managers within 2 years, and never had experience again because I've never been a follower. I always wanted to be a leader. I was like, hey, what's next? I can never get in a job and be complacent, just like with radio. Started part-time, started doing overnights, and I was like, one day I'm going to do afternoons. And that was my goal, to do afternoon drive at a major market radio station, which was Tampa. So, yeah, it was a very humbling experience not being able to do it. And even that True Green experience, my hoop dreams, playing basketball, tore my Achilles tendon for the second time. So I got 2 zippers on the back of my legs. So that was right before COVID hit.
Okay.
When all that happened. So it was kind of crazy.
So it was like the storm cloud was rolling in.
Oh yeah.
There's a scripture where it talks about, it said, look out there, there's like a small cloud. It's like the size of a man's hand. And then like this cloud started slowly coming.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to that cloud being over top of Stu's head. Mm-hmm. And it was like the mega burst or down burst or whatever kind of burst they said we just had, right?
Tornado, yeah.
Yeah. When the hail started coming down and the roof was damaged and the car was tore up, and I'm speaking figuratively, your life started, like you started getting some crazy challenges.
Oh, yeah. That was just the start of things. Like I said, COVID, the whole world shut down. Nobody knew what was going to happen next. Torn Achilles tendon, like your leg, literally had to learn how to walk again. Mm-hmm. And it was tough. And it was at that point, that was 20, then going into 21, I'm like, hey, I'm getting back. And at the end of 21, I think it was probably like around November, I'm one of the brothers, black men, go to the doctor. Go get checked out. I believe that. Yeah. November of 21, went and got my physical, everything fine. Hey, Mr. Robinson, your cholesterol is just a little high. Okay, let me handle that. I see Cheerios says, if you eat some Cheerios, it'll help your cholesterol.
Yeah.
So that was in November of 21. Second week of December 21, started having this lower pain in my back out of nowhere. I'm thinking, sciatic nerve or pull muscle, and it gradually got worse. I never forget this third week, like literally right before Christmas, I started to walk. Next thing you know, I wake up, I'm on the floor. I'm like, how in the world did I get on the floor? Did I trip and bump my head? I got up, pain in my back, went back to the doctor, gave me more pills. 2 days before Christmas, I'm like literally laying in bed. I'm trying to get up. Boom, I fall back. I'm looking around like, how did this happen? And December 25th, 21, is the day that my mom called 911 to come get me because I couldn't move.
Wow.
I was in this pain that I never felt before. And that's when that storm cloud was right there.
Yeah.
It was pouring. It was more than a microbus.
Yeah.
And from December 21, started at Piedmont. It's like, we don't know what's going on with the Mr. Robson. I'm pretty sure you don't. I love you, Piedmont. Let's go up to Pineville.
Yeah.
Went to Pineville, was in Pineville Hospital for a month, complete month of January. Had every doctor coming in. I mean, all of a sudden, it seemed like, it literally like felt like my body was on fire. Like, to describe the pain, I told somebody to take your hand, and it's cold outside, smash it on the concrete and just drag it. And do that about 20 times. I mean, it was at the point they wrote up on the little board, do not come close to his feet. Because my feet were hurting so bad. And like my whole body was just in this excruciating pain. And taking in mind, again, I just went to the doctor in November.
And they said everything except the cholesterol.
Bill of health. Yeah, blood work, everything was fine. And 1 month became 2 months, still, Mr. Robinson, we don't know what's wrong with you. All of a sudden, I lost my appetite. I couldn't eat. Anything that I tried to eat would not stay down. If you don't eat, then what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Doctor, think I will die? Yeah, more than likely. Put a feeding tube in my stomach. This is like February, March come, 3 months in, still into the hospital. I mean, they had Zoom calls from doctors from Duke Medical. I can't think of it, but it was out of Maryland, one of those hospitals, trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, they gave me any kind of test you could think of, any kind of biopsies, triopsies, ESP and ABC, anything that you could think of, that they gave it to me. So that was 3 months in.
Okay.
And 3 months is a long time, very long time in a hospital. And love my parents. I mean, like clockwork, my mom and dad, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
They were there. I rolled over at 11:45, boom, I'm seeing one of their faces. Because I don't know if you've ever been in a hospital for extended amount of, time, but you can't sleep in a hospital.
Right.
They said, get some rest. Like, how?
Right. You coming in every 5 minutes. Are you all right?
Every 5 minutes, between the nurses, between, drawing blood. It was like one point I had to draw blood like every 3 hours.
Okay.
And I was like, here.
You ain't got no more blood.
Yeah. You're like, here. I have no more in my arm. Just smack my hand. And it was rough. I mean, 3 months became 4 months. And I never forget my sister came up to see me. Love my sister, best big sister in the world.
I was going to ask about her.
Yeah. And she was about to leave. And I said, sit down real quick. And I said, grab my wallet. She grabbed my wallet. She think I wanted to get something, whatever it was. I said, this is my information to my 401k. This is my banking information. This is everything that you will need. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, I've been in here 4 months. I could barely talk. I can't sit up. Every time that I would try to sit up in bed, I would literally pass out. And like people standing around, I'm like, what are y'all standing around me for? Like, you just passed out. You were out for like 2 minutes or so. I'm like, huh? Really? So she's like, it's gonna be okay, Of course, encouraging me. 5th month came. I never forget. This was around Mayish, I would say. Mom, dad came like clockwork. Dad was walking out. Auntie happened to be with him that time. Every day, my mom came to see me. She would always pull my blankets up over me, tuck her baby boy in.
Take care of baby.
Yeah, make sure, everything was all right,
Yeah.
Make sure the heat was up. Now, this is May. It's hot outside, but I wanted the heat up because I'm about to freeze.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I went to the hospital. First went in, I was 188 pounds, which I was weighing too much then. By that time, I was down to like 130-something pounds. Yeah. And Mom was walking out. And I looked at her, and I said, Mom, I'm tired. She said, what, baby? I said, Mom, I'm tired. I can't take it anymore. And I only saw my mama cry once in my entire life. That's when my grandmother, her mom, passed. And she looked at me, little bitty woman, Miss Hannah, Hannah's baby boy Stu. That's how I got my name. Everybody want to ask. My mom's name is Hannah, and I'm the baby boy. Yeah. Hannah's baby boy Stu. Yeah. And she looked at me, and she grabbed my hand, and she started crying. She said, I know you're tired, baby. I know you're tired. I know you're tired. But we're going to make it. I need you more than ever. We got this fight together. No matter what those doctors say. My grandmama used to say, you know the doctor that made the doctor.
Yeah.
That made the doctor.
Yeah.
So it's been 5 months that you've been in the hospital, and you've been fighting for this long. Don't give up on me now. Don't give up on me now. And when she held my hand, I mean, literally, this little woman, little bitty woman, she grabbed my hand and held my hand and held it so tight. It's like instantly. I didn't know it then, but I felt something over my body. It was like I just jumped, like it was almost a chill in my body. This is the beginning of May. It was a Friday. I'll never forget. It was a Friday. And she says, we got this. Don't give up on me. And she tucked me in, and she walked out, went about her business. Later on that evening, the doctor came in, one of the main neurologists at the hospital. And he said, Mr. Robinson, we've done all we can. There's nothing else that we can do for you. And I won't say what he said. He said, but I will tell you this. You're one tough son of a, that word. For all the pain that you went through, there's nothing else that we can do. And I rolled over. I said, it's okay. I said, my mom just left, and my mom told me it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And he's like, we don't know if it's going to get worse. We don't know if this is going to subside and go over. I don't know. I really don't. I'm just as frustrated and sorry as I can ever be. As any patient that I ever had. So that was a Friday. The weekend, nobody came to visit me. It was just like the whole room was just dark that whole weekend. And I've always been a praying guy. I might not look like I know him, but I know him. And that whole weekend, it's like I didn't pray. I had a conversation with God, and we talked. Or let me say I talked, and I talked. And he listened. June rolls around. It's been 6 months in the hospital. Lady walks in. Hey, Mr. Robinson, we're done. Doctor says there's nothing else that we can do, but you can't go home. You have to go to rehab. It's like, what am I going to rehab for if nobody knows what's wrong with it?
Yeah, I might as well go home.
Yeah. But over those next couple weeks in the hospital, it seems like I just started getting better. I had to go to rehab for a month in Rock Hill. Mom and Dad live here, and I was able to, seemed like I was getting stronger, begin to eat small little bites of food, what have you. And 30 days after I went to rehab, boom, lady walks in. Hey, your insurance says you're done. We're not paying this anymore. And I was like, hey, I am fine with that.
Wow.
But I was like, so what am I going to do now? I can barely even walk. I mean, I was still having those relapses where I could sit up a little longer, but if I tried to stand up, I would fall. I was like, what am I going to do? I got to go to a nursing home. I got to do something. My mom looked at me and was like, are you crazy? I said, what are you talking about? Like, you're going home with me. I'm going to take care of you. I said, we got this, and we got it. And I went home June of 22, was still in bed. I mean, this little woman would not let me rest. fed me through my feeding tube 3 times a day, gave me my pills, my medication, made sure I sat up, gave me my bath and everything. And I mean, we did it together. We did it together. It was rough.
Yeah.
I've never in my life, it's easy to say, what's the words that I'm trying to use? That life changes in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that.
Yeah.
But once you go through it.
Experience it and see it.
Yeah. Because again, take it back to November 21. Clean bill of health.
You're good.
I just want to eat my
Cheerios.
Cheerios. That's it. That's it.
Hey, did you do the honey nut Cheerios or the regular Cheerios?
I still eat them, honey nut.
That's it.
Still eat them.
So let me ask you something, because I follow your journey, and I would reach out to a mutual person we both know, and I would always ask about you. Would always ask, and then I remember when you got your strength on certain days, and you would go live, and you would just kind of give updates, because like I said, the world loves you, right? Yeah. I remember you. We're gonna get back to Hannah, the little bitty woman.
Yeah, my baby, that's my girl.
But let's talk about this other woman, because you said there was a woman who had somebody that was upstairs. She would go upstairs, see them, come downstairs, see you, take care of you.
Sister.
Your sister.
Yeah.
What was that like, having her
amazing.
do that?
Absolutely amazing. And it was even one point where CMC Maine in Charlotte that my mom was in the hospital at the same time I was.
Yeah.
I mean, admitted as a patient.
Yeah.
She was on the 3rd floor and I was on the 9th floor. And of course, they wouldn't let me go down to see her because COVID and, all that stuff and situation. So my sister came to see me. We strode out in the wheelchair, look to the left, look to the right. Let's go down to the 3rd floor. Y'all crazy. I'm going to check on my mom. So it's like literally she was taking care of both of us at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, she is so humble and so strong and so powerful all in once, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because she lives in Columbia. She's the assistant city manager of the city of Columbia.
Yeah.
So she has a
demanding job.
stressful job.
Yeah.
And to come from Columbia, to check on mom, to check on me, to come to Charlotte and, do this for literally like a year.
Yeah.
It's astonishing, amazing. And I told her, I said, I cannot thank you enough.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough. And, even with my mom, when she was taking care of me at home, I had my little walker. It's like, do not get up without letting me know. So it was one night in the middle of the night. I was like, I can get out of my bed with my walker, walk over to the bathroom. Boom, I'm rumbling. She comes in the hallway, flip the light. I got the walker trapped between my arm and leg like this. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. Stop saying that. And she would come in the room, do whatever she had to do with me, like the medicines or what have you. I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. Stop saying that. It's not your fault. It's not, you asked for it. But like I said, I mean, I was not going to say at the top of the world in my life, but things were moving on. Radio was like, hey, I'm doing this whole truth thing. I can't think of it. Yeah. Working for them, worked my way up to manager.
I would have bought a contract from you.
Yeah.
Hey, sir, you need this contract because the way that your crabgrass is growing. I'm like, all right, here go my credit card.
Yeah. It was exciting, I was working on getting my credit. I mean, like literally, I ain't scared to say it. My credit score got up to 750 before I went to the hospital. Boom. It's about to get this house, like everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm back. God, I knew you had my back after this whole radio situation. Then bam, everything.
Yeah.
Boom.
Like they say, the bottom fell out.
Yeah. Like literally. But I tell people, like, right now, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, God, you've done it before. Can I get an encore?
Yeah. That's what Jay said.
Yeah. You just got to believe, man, and keep pushing. And I've always been the type of person, try not to let small things get to me. Now, after going through this situation, I can't. Life is a beautiful thing. It really is. And people need to start living life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Like they said, somebody told me, when I was in the hospital, like, hey man, you have more days behind you than you do ahead.
Yeah.
You better live.
Yeah.
You know, my passport just came in. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. I'm getting stamped on my passport soon.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bank account won't let me go too far.
That's all right.
But I'm going somewhere.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. And you know, I used to hear people say this, and I'd be like, man, listen, I ain't signing up for that. They would be like, you know, God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers.
Oh yeah.
And I would be like, bro, I didn't actually be a lieutenant general.
I know.
Like I could have been like, what you call it, petty officer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But we get these challenges. Where are you now? Where are you going other than another country? You know, where are you now? Where are you going? And if you had to, and I know this is going to be hard, so it's going to be a three-parter. The last part is going to be, how would you sum up what you learned in a sentence? So where are you now? Mm-hmm. Where are you going? And how would you sum up everything you learned during that time in a sentence?
Where am I now? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
Okay.
That makes any sense?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect sense.
I think I'm where God wants me to be. I think I'm where God wants me to get his message out to his people. Like we first started, my voice. Use my voice.
Yeah.
My voice demands attention.
Yeah.
Hey, Stu, boom, 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 boom. Now that I have your attention, let's get their attention.
I like that.
So that's where I'm at now. Where do I want to be? Is that the next one?
Where are you going? What's next? Where are you going? What's next? Where do you want to be?
Oh, man. I just want to live, man. I just want to live. Take care of my parents.
Okay.
You know, and enjoy life. I don't want to be happy. And people are like, why don't you want to be happy? Because to me, happiness comes and goes. I can get in the car, have my happy music on, somebody cut me off, all of a sudden I'm mad and I'm not happy anymore. I want joy.
Wow.
Because you can't take my joy away from me. If that makes any sense. Am I making any sense? I don't know.
Bro, you just dropped the mic.
Okay. But that's where I want to go. I want to go to a place of nothing but joy.
Because Pharrell had all these people talking about they happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Clap along if you feel. Like happiness is, what is it? Is the truth.
I don't know that. But like I said, man, it's easy to be happy. Turn on the radio.
Something happens.
That's my happy song. Then all of a sudden, boom, it is gone.
I think there's a scripture that says, count it all joy.
Yeah.
When you fall into trials and tribulations, right? Mm-hmm. Like, count it all joy. You know, one of the things my grandmother would always tell me, she would say, baby, never complain about what you're going through because God is so gracious, it's not how it could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what, God, I'm grateful. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Because all hell is breaking loose, but yet, you mean it could be worse than this?
Exactly. And that crossed my mind several times, you know. And I would be lying and not saying that I didn't lay up in the hospital and be like, God, why me? I mean, with the technical term of it, what they try to put together, it is called, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Small fiber neuropathy or orthostatic hypertension. Yeah, sounds like a whole different language, right?
That's what they...
Yeah.
Okay.
Small fiber neuropathy, pretty much my whole nervous system just went haywire. Small fiber, I mean, the orthostatic hypertension, my blood pressure would get to the certain point where it would just drop and
cause you to collapse.
Be talking to you, next thing you know, boom, I'm out. Like, hey, yo, yeah, say what now? So yeah, that was a technical term that they gave to the whole situation. And I had my moments. You know, I was at one point like, yeah, you know, I had my good days and my bad days, but I had to catch myself from saying that. I had my moments. Because to be in this seat right here beside you, today is a great day for me.
Yeah. Like
right now, my hands are burning, like hurting real bad. But I think about where I was last year. laying in my mom's house. You know, she feed me through a feeding tube. The year before that, at this time, I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
So within 2 years, I'm able to have this discussion with you.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I am grateful.
That's what's up.
And you said to sum my life up in one sentence?
To sum up the journey in a sentence, what you learned in a sentence. That storm cloud came, you know, all the trials when it was getting close, you know, COVID and all that. And then when the bottom fell out, you know, the
micro bus, yeah.
No, I was gonna try to say what the term they put on it,
I don't know.
Yeah, that part, like, and God seeing you through all of that stuff, like, what you learned in a sentence.
Whew.
Because I know there was.
And
a
I
lot
don't want to
of
be
lessons.
self-centered when I say this.
No. This is your
But
time.
I have a stupendous life. And when I say that, because like you said, all the bad things that happen, I just throw all that stuff out of my mind and think about all the great stuff that happened in my life. And I'm about to say something that 99.9% of the people that actually know me don't know. But the day I was born, September the 10th, 1971, my angel died, which is my birth mother.
Okay.
My birth mother died as soon as she had me. So this woman that I call Miss Hannah was supposed to be my aunt.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't. I go back to that. I was like, wow, man. As soon as I was born, God put an earth angel right here in my life. So I think way back then.
Okay.
Then I think about ninth grade when I gave that speech and Miss Howell said, use your voice to be heard. I think about that. Yeah, boom. That took me to radio. Then I think of everything that I've done in radio, from Stu's father-daughter dance, from throwing out a pitch at a Major League Baseball game, to swimming with dolphins, to going to the BET Awards, to being nominated as Radio Personality of the Year. I think of all that stuff. I don't think about the times I got fired from radio or the times that I really didn't want to be on air because I had the flu or I was sick. I don't think about any of that.
Stupendous life.
That's a stupendous life. I take all the negative stuff out and I'm like, you know what? My life's pretty much stupendous.
Yeah.
Like, what did it say? If your good days outweigh your bad days, you had some weary days, you had some hills to climb, but I won't complain. Come on, somebody.
I won't complain.
And the church said,
amen. Listen, you heard the story. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Because I took a break from pastoring, ministry, all that kind of stuff. But God is rekindling the fire. I got a call today, matter of fact, to preach at a church.
Okay.
On the 19th of this month. But, you know, in all of that, God is starting to really, like, stir up the gift again, man. And one of the gifts that I know God had given me from day one was the gift of prophecy. And I'm careful with my words because, you know, you don't ever want to be labeled a street prophet.
Gotcha, yeah.
But one thing that I will tell you this, man, is that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of man the things that God has laid up for Stu Robinson. And that's why I'm selective about who sits with me on this platform, because I want to speak like life into them. I want to touch and agree in the spirit with what they're doing and where God is taking them to. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I told somebody the other day, if you think that radio has afforded you a good life, wait till you see what your faithfulness is going to do.
Yeah. I needed to hear that.
Wait till you see what your faithfulness is going to do.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to just be getting stamps for the sake of stamps. But now that we got your attention, let's get their attention. That's what you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
So get ready to go speak to them.
I am.
Hey, Hannah's baby boy.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to say before we close?
Nah, man. Thank you for the opportunity. You're using your platform to, I don't want to say my testimony, but, you know, my story. And like, people, man, just enjoy your life. You know, live it. It could, you know, it's easy to say Life can change in the blink of the eye until you've actually experienced it. You know, not being able to eat, you know, falling down and you're laying on the floor and you're not able to get up. You can't think about that stuff. You know, actually having to learn how to walk again, looking at your foot like, okay, right foot, why aren't you moving?
Yeah.
You know, you don't realize that. And for me, to be able to lay in the hospital for 6 months, rehab for a month, bedridden for 4 months, pretty much the whole year of 22, I don't want to say it was in vain, but enlightened me, and it's going to make me stronger, and I'm going to keep going, 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 and nobody can stop me.
Sunday is Mother's Day. I don't know when we'll drop this, but what I will say is everything you do, like the clockwork, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she was right there. You rolled over.
Yeah.
Say something to Hannah, that little itty-bitty woman that she can have on record, that she can hold and look at on her phone, you know, anytime she want to hear those golden pipes.
Man, mama, thank you so much. I mean, she knows. I mean, her and I have had so many intimate conversations. I wasn't the easiest to raise. Let's just throw that out there. You know, that woman had to work that belt and pie out. And I deserved it, but seriously, man.
You good?
I knew that was coming. Love her. Love you. Love you. Hannah, baby boy, I love you. I mean, that's, to me, is the ultimate. Every time somebody sees her, you Stu's mama. I got a name, Hannah. So I think that's, and she knows that's the ultimate gift for me to be on the airwaves, and my title, Hannah's baby boy,
pays homage to her.
Yeah.
Every time.
Like a lot of people see me, Hannah's boy, Hannah's baby boy. They don't even say Stu half the time, which is cool to me, man. That's just my tribute to my mom. And again, I look at her and that hand and that warmth that she put over my body. I can never repay her.
Man, that's what's up.
Never.
Cool. Hey, listen, I told you my desire, my goal is always to encourage, empower, and enlighten you with the use of practical words, ideals, and stories. And I told you, sometimes it's mine, sometimes it's dope people like Stu. Listen, hope you heard something. I hope you took something from this, man, that'll make your rainy days a whole lot lighter and easier to deal with. Until the next time, follow him on all his social media platforms that are...
Stu Robinson, look up Facebook. I don't remember my Instagram, all that stuff. I'm old, bro.
We gonna get him back. Wait, we gonna get it popping. I'm Demorrious.
Follow me on MySpace.
Hey, he still got Tom as his only friend. Hey, listen, we out of here, man. We'll talk to you soon. We love you. We honor you. And hey, until the next time, catch you later.
Have a stupendous day.